Be Me 32 MHR generalist at Luminarch, small but pretentious tech marketing shop. Masters in org psych tuition cost more than a fully loaded SUV, but it gave me the framework power dynamics intersectionality systems of inequity, aka. I can look at a room and immediately know who's unsafe, spend my days arbitrating graphic designers, fighting over vibes, and scheduling our monthly inclusion potluck like it's a UN summit. Take it seriously. I'm the self-appointed guardian of the safe space. I'm the guy who pushed the fragrance-free zone policy. I'm the guy who got the men/women bathroom signs swapped for urinals/stalls. Doing the work, being the work, Luminarch is scaling. Now we bought the rotting warehouse next door, turning it into a content mega studio. Podcasts, booths, green screens, our room, the whole future of storytelling, nonsense. Huge renovation. Leadership hires, Stonehammer, general contracting. Old school union outfit, big trucks, big tools, big dudes. For the last 11 weeks, my sanctuary has been under siege. The renovation shares a wall with my office 7 a.m. On the dot, the violence begins. Jackhammers that make my molars buzz, drills screaming like a dying animal, fine dust drifting onto my desk, plants settling into the cracks of my keyboard. But the noise isn't even the worst part. It's the presence these guys take up space like it's a sport. They cut through our lobby to reach the side entrance, muddy boots on polished concrete, high-vis vests, so bright they feel like an assault. They smell like diesel and sawdust and wet flannel that never met soap. It changes the entire energy of the building, feels like someone dragged a construction site through our culture. Then comes the inciting incident. Rainy Tuesday, classic Pacific Northwest. Gloom sky, the color of printer paper left in the rain. I'm in the kitchenette making a latte, being meticulous because it's the only thing I control anymore. Whisking foam like it's a ritual. Kitchenette window looks into the narrow alley between buildings. That alley is the crew's official break zone. I see them out there, maybe 9 or 10 of them. Cigarettes lit up, smoke drifting straight toward our HVAC intake. Love that for us they're eating meat bomb sandwiches out of a food truck, grease paper everywhere, and I spot the foreman. Everyone calls him Big Eddie. Dude is basically a moving wall, like 6'4" or something, beard like a lumberjack. Cosplaying a Norse god, hands the size of catcher's mitts, wearing a battered Carhartt jacket that looks like it survived a riot. He's holding court. With 3 younger guys, apprentices, probably I crack the window open, just a sliver. Tell myself I'm checking for smoke infiltration. Really? I'm monitoring the culture, need to know what kind of energy is camped outside our walls. Then I hear Big Eddie's voice low and gravelly, like someone shaking rocks in a coffee can. He goes, "Nah, you can't just shove it in there. You gotta grease the coupling, line it up, and ease it in. Do it gentle. If you force it, you'll strip the threads." The whole group loses it. That deep guttural laughter, one of the apprentices slaps his thigh like he's at a comedy club. "That's what she said, Eddie." Big Eddie grins, white teeth flashing through the beard. "Pipework's a sensitive craft, kid. Respect the tolerances." I slam the window shut so hard, it rattles hand-shaking pulse, hammering in my throat. Instant nausea. It's 2026. We're in a professional workplace, and these guys are out here turning plumbing into sex jokes, sexual innuendos, objectifying language, misogynistic undertones. Women reduced to parts and holes and objects. Textbook hostile environment. I just stand there staring into my latte. The foam collapses flat and sad, like my faith in humanity deflating in real time. But then something clicks. This isn't just annoying. This is an opportunity. This is my moment, proof that my job isn't just calendar invites and culture decks. I can't just file a complaint. Complaints are passive. I need to intervene. I need to be an agent of change. I need to civilize the space the planning phase hits. I spend the next 48 hours in full tunnel vision, ignore payroll, emails, ignore the Slack messages about the office being too cold, ignore a manager asking if we can relax the PTO policy. Nope, this is bigger. I start drafting a proposal title, Synergy on Site. Subtitle, Bridging the Blue-Collar/White Collar Divide. Through inclusive language, sounds like a TED Talk, feels powerful. I pull up the master contract, Luminarch signed with Stonehammer, 200 plus pages of legal soup. I comb through it, Looking for leverage, find it buried around page 40-something, section 4.2, subclause C. Contractor agrees to comply with client workplace standards regarding safety, conduct, and anti-harassment, while on client premises, bingo. Our workplace standards are not subtle. We do mandatory quarterly, DEI, training attendance tracked slides, weaponized, and if they're on our property, they're under our rules. I start building the curriculum, has to be comprehensive gender identity spectrum, microaggressions, the power of pronouns, toxic masculinity in manual labor, spaces language that harmfully reinforces hierarchies. I decide on a 3-hour intensive workshop, not a cute lunch, and learn an intervention, Friday afternoon, perfect end of week. They'll be tired, more receptive. At least, that's what I tell myself. Then comes the pitch. Thursday morning, I march into the COO's office. His name's Tyler, pure tech bro. Energy standing desk, protein shaker on the shelf, typing on a mechanical keyboard that sounds like automatic gunfire. I go, "Tyler, we have a situation." He flinches like I said. "The servers are on fire." "What, did the client portal go down?" "No, it's the construction crew." I tell him I've documented multiple instances of exclusionary and sexually charged rhetoric in shared zones. I slide a manila folder onto his desk like I'm delivering evidence to a court inside. Is the pipe-fitting quote printed on official letterhead because optics matter? I go, "If an intern hears this, Ty, we're looking at a Title VII lawsuit. Hostile work environment. Third-party liability." Tyler's face drains like someone unplugged him. "Title VII? Are you serious?" "Dead serious. We have a legal and moral obligation to intervene." He stares at the folder like it's radioactive. Okay. Should I call Stonehammer's owner? No. I raise a hand like I'm stopping a car. That creates animosity. We don't want to fight. We want education. I prepared a training module. Tyler stares at me like I just told him the office is haunted. "You want to bring the whole crew in for a mandatory seminar? Tomorrow?" "Tomorrow, Miles." They're pouring the pad for the data room this week. They're on a tight schedule. I don't blink. What's more expensive, Ty? A 3-hour delay? Or a $2.6 million settlement? I let the numbers sit there like a bad smell. Tyler rubs his temples with both hands. He looks instantly older, like his soul just tried to resign. "Fine, but you have to clear it with their foreman. If he agrees to a stoppage, I'll sign off on the access and the order." He says it like he's pretty sure I'll come back defeated, like I'm scared of them. He has no idea confrontation is my cardio, especially when I'm holding the moral clipboard, time to go to the zoo prep for the site visit. Like I'm suiting up for war, grab the company-branded hard hat, bright white, so clean, it could be a display model. It's never tasted dust throw on the orange high-vis vest. It hangs off me like a tarp. I have to cinch it with a belt, so I don't look like a child in a costume pulling my expensive waterproof boots, the kind you buy when you want people to know you can afford discomfort. Walk out the back door and straight into chaos. The noise hits like a punch to the chest, metal grinding, someone yelling over a compressor, the angry beep 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 of a lift. Reversing air tastes like drywall, and wet concrete dust is hanging in it like fog. The ground is mud soup. I do this, careful little hop step through it, dodging puddles like they're landmines. Then I spot Big Eddie by a pile of rebar holding a tablet, like he's doing taxes up close. He's somehow bigger, like the laws of physics are optional for him. He smells like burnt coffee and old leather. I walk right up, like I own the ground. "Excuse me, foreman." He doesn't even look up, at first keeps tapping on the tablet, slowly finishes whatever he's doing, then turns his head and looks down at me. I have to tilt my neck back to meet his eyes. "Can I help you?" "Ma'am?" Then immediately, "You need to stay in the green lanes." "Live site." The ma'am lands wrong, and he doesn't even notice I keep my voice steady. "I'm Miles, HR lead for Luminark. We're the client." Big Eddie nods. Once no expression, just that blank form and stare like he's pricing lumber in his head. "All right, Miles. What can I do for the client?" I square up. "We need to discuss the conduct of your crew. I've observed behavior that violates our workplace standards, and the contract language on harassment and conduct." His eyes narrow, a millimeter barely anything, but it's there. "Is that so?" "My guys are pretty focused on the job, ma'am." I bite my tongue so hard I taste copper. The language, Eddie. It's exclusionary. It's outdated. To ensure compliance, I'm scheduling mandatory training tomorrow, Friday, 12:30 to 3:30. Mandatory. He finally reacts like I said something real. Under what authority? I'm ready contract clause 3.9. Site conduct and anti-harassment compliance while on client premises. He stares at me, then at the mud, then back at me. And who exactly needs to attend this training? I don't hesitate. Everyone, you, subs, apprentices, every pair of boots on this property. Big Eddie looks at me, then checks his watch, then glances over his shoulder at the plumber. Everyone calls him Moose Short. Thick. Looks like he could chew a cinder block and ask for seasoning. Moose raises one eyebrow like, "Are we doing this?" I'm bracing for the argument. The big speech about deadlines, how work has to get done, how we're not your employees. Instead, Big Eddie's face does this weird shift, not anger, more like math. Like he's calculating the fastest route through a problem. He reaches into his vest pocket and pulls out a little black notebook, the kind old guys carry because they don't trust batteries, licks his thumb, flips pages like he's a librarian of chaos. Friday. 12:30. He mutters it to himself. That's smack in the middle of rough in. Shutting down for 3 hours ain't just everybody sitting in a room. We gotta secure the site, lock out, then restart. It's a whole procedure. I keep my posture tall even though my vest is trying to swallow me. Culture comes first, Eddie. We build teams before we build walls. I actually say that out loud, and a warm little glow of pride runs through me. Big Eddie looks at the notebook again, then closes it slowly. All right. If the client issues a direct stop work order for mandatory training, we comply. That's the job. I feel like I just won a courtroom drama. Good. We'll use the main conference room. The Innovation Garage. Full attendance. No phones. He nods like I told him the weather. You got it. We'll be there. I'll let the steward know. I walk away practically floating, heart-thumping, adrenaline buzzing behind my eyes. I just stared down the biggest guy on site, and he folded. He knows he's wrong. He knows the world is changing. He knows he has to adapt. I get back to my desk and immediately text my boyfriend. He bartends at a cocktail place and writes sad little poems on napkins. Just crushed the patriarchy at work. Champagne tonight. Seminar day. Friday morning turns into a blur. I treat this like I'm giving a TED Talk that decides the fate of civilization. I build a 70-slide deck memes, charts impact statements in giant fonts, definitions that sound like legal threats. I rearrange the room, push tables into a collaborative U-shape. Because circles are healing and rectangles are violence, dim, the lights turn on, the diffuser, eucalyptus and lavender, calm, vibes only. I order catering from a local vegan spot. Gluten-free muffins, kale chips, tiny ginger wellness shots that taste like punishment. I want to demonstrate nourishment doesn't have to be greasy and heavy. 12:45 p.m. I'm ready, power jacket, smart glasses, clicker in hand, like a weapon. 12:55 p.m. I hear them coming. The hallway fills with the sound of steel-toed boots on polished concrete like a marching drill team. Maybe 40-something pairs. It sounds like an invasion. The door swings open, Big Eddie walks in, first tool belt off, but he's still wearing that filthy vest. He's holding a clipboard and an actual pen. Like it's 1998 behind him. The crew pours in, electricians, plumbers, drywall, guys, laborers, big dudes, wiry dudes, old dudes, kids who look barely old enough to rent a car. The room instantly feels smaller. The smell hits, next sweat wet, clothes drywall, dust solder, flux pure work. It steamrolls my lavender in 2 seconds flat. They take their seats. I'm expecting jokes, manspreading, whispering phones out. None of it happens. They sit upright, quiet, attentive, like they're in court. Big Eddie drops into the front center seat. Moose sits to his right. Their electrical lead, a skinny guy everyone calls Wires, sits to his left. Big Eddie clicks his pen, once looks straight at me, waiting. Big Eddie clicks his pen again. All here, all accounted for, ma'am. Clock's running. His tone is polite too. Polite like a customer service rep, who already knows you're about to get billed. I clear my throat and step into presenter mode. Welcome. Everyone. I'm Miles. Silence 40-something, pairs of eyes staring like security cameras. I try to kick it off with a confident smile. I know you're used to building walls. Today we're going to learn how to take them down. I pause, wait for the chuckles, the groans, anything, nothing. Big Eddie scribbles something on his clipboard. Without looking up, cool launch. The slide deck get into the early definitions stuff. Slide 5 hits the little diagram with the gingerbread person, except it's rebranded and covered in arrows. Identity, expression, attraction, all separated like a flowchart. I explain the difference slowly, like I'm teaching a classroom that doesn't want to be there. I scan the room for smirks. Elbow nudges someone whispering, "Bro, what?" None of that happens. They're staring at the screen with the intensity of people watching a bomb timer. Moose raises his hand full arm up like he's in 4th grade. "Yeah, Moose?" He clears his throat. "Ma'am, on the spectrum thing. Is that a straight line scale or more like a multi-axis coordinate system?" I blink. My brain does the Windows error sound. It's fluid, not linear. I try to recover. It can shift. Moose nods like I just confirmed a measurement. Understood. Non-binary variable. Thank you. He writes it down carefully, like it's going in a manual. I'm confused but also encouraged. They're engaging somehow 140-ish move into inclusive language. The terms to avoid list pops up: guys, dude, foreman, manpower, man hours. All highlighted like crimes. I explain how manpower erases contributions of women and non-binary workers. I say erases with the seriousness of a prosecutor. Big Eddie raises his hand slow and deliberate. Miles, I want to be crystal clear. For our daily logs and billing, you're instructing us to stop using the term man-hour. The room stays silent, waiting for my answer. This is the moment? Yes. It's archaic. Use labor units or person hours. Big Eddie glances left at Wires. Wires gives a tiny nod. Big Eddie writes it down, then underlines it twice. Understood. Official change. Labor units. We'll update our logs. Wires raises his hand. Next he speaks like a guy used to answering in court. Ma'am, in electrical, we've got terms like master and slave for control circuits, and male and female for connectors. Are those now prohibited? I don't even hesitate. Absolutely. Those terms are rooted in oppressive frameworks. Use primary/secondary, and plug/receptacle. Wire's face goes serious like I just told him and the gravity got updated. That's a major change to our drawings, ma'am. But if that's the client directive, it is. Got it. We'll redraw the schematics to match cultural standards. He starts writing like his pen is on fire. I feel this surge in my chest, like I'm literally rewriting an industry in real time, like the dictionary is bending around me, 2:30. The room feels heavy, not hostile, just dense, like everyone's carrying a weight and nobody wants to set it down. I decide we need an activity, something interactive, something transformative. All right, let's do a role-play exercise. I ask for volunteers immediately. Big Eddie stands up. I'll volunteer, ma'am. No hesitation. Moose stands too, like it's routine. Okay then. Big Eddie, you're a manager. Moose, you're a new hire who uses they/them pronouns. Moose just made a mistake on the job. Correct them without using gendered language. The room goes dead silent. You could hear the HVAC breathing. Big. Eddie turns to Moose like he's about to negotiate a hostage situation, takes a breath. Moose, valued colleague. I observe the conduit run is not vertically aligned. As a person of valid agency, please rectify the verticality of the installation. Moose nods solemnly, straight-faced like he's reading scripture. I appreciate your constructive feedback, supervisor. I will address the spatial alignment immediately. They sound like two customer service chatbots trying to flirt, but technically it checks the boxes. I clap like a teacher who just saw a kid tie their shoes. Excellent. See? Was that so hard? Big Eddie sits back down. No, ma'am. Just requires a different cognitive load. He writes something on his clipboard, actually writes the phrase cognitive load, and mutters it under his breath like he's storing it for later. 3:15, I'm running out of material, and it's messing with me because I can't win anything. They aren't arguing. There's no pushback to overcome, no villains, just this weird attentive silence. So I pull out the big visualization, the privilege walk thing, but seated. All right. Everyone, close your eyes. And they all do it instantly, like I just gave a safety command. I lower my voice. Imagine a world where buildings aren't designed for your body size, where the safety gear doesn't fit you, where the language around you excludes you. I want you to sit in that discomfort, really feel it. The room stays silent for a long time, like 10 full minutes. I watch them, some heads bowed, hands folded. Big Eddie has his palm pressed over his eyes. His shoulders look tense, like he's shaking a little. Is he crying? Is this actually getting through my chest? Swells, this is it. The breakthrough moment, 3:55. Okay. Open your eyes. Big Eddie looks up. His eyes are red. He looks exhausted, like he just ran a mile in steel toes. That was heavy, ma'am. I nod like a wise monk. Growth is heavy, Eddie. Yes. Yes, it is. 4 o'clock, I wrap it up. Thank you all for being here. I hope you carry this forward. Please take a muffin on your way out. Big Eddie stands, turns to the crew. All right, site's secure. Log the code. Let's move. They file out orderly quiet, like a drill. Not a single hand reaches for the catering, not one kale chip touched. I'm left alone in the room with untouched muffins and dead lavender. The diffuser sputters like it gave up. I feel drained but triumphant. I email Tyler, immediately subject line, huge win body. Training completed, cultural shift observed, compliance achieved. I go home, drink 3 glasses of wine like it's hydration. Sleep like someone who thinks they saved the world. Fast forward a week. I'm still riding that high, haven't seen much of the crew. They've been working quieter than before. No jokes in the alley, no big presence in the lobby. Friday afternoon, around 2:10. I get a Slack from Tyler. Come to my office. Now. No emoji. Tyler always uses emojis, that's how I know it's bad. I walk over, doors open. Tyler's at his desk, and there's another guy in the room. Expensive suit, slicked back hair, sharp face, looks like a shark. Learn to talk. Tyler doesn't even offer small talk. Sit down. His voice is shaking. I sit. What's going on? Tyler slides a paper across the desk. Invoice, big bold letters. Invoice 5172. REV1. I look at the total, $34,980. I actually gasp. What is this? Shark Suit smiles cold. Dead. That, Miles, is the bill for the training seminar you conducted. I laugh because my brain refuses to accept reality. That's impossible. It was 3 hours. You can't charge 35 grand for 3 hours of sitting in a room. Shark Suit opens a binder like he's been waiting his whole life for this. Let me walk you through the itemization. He flips to a tab, item 1. 42 journeymen, 3 hours. Base wage is $57. But the burden billing rate is $142 per hour. That covers union dues, pension, industrial insurance, and overhead. I start doing the math in my head. 42 guys, 3 hours, $142 an hour. That's like 17, almost 18 grand. Okay? So, where the hell is the other half of this mid-$30,000 nuke coming from? Shark Suit taps the invoice with one finger, perfect manicure, item 2. Consultant reclassification. Excuse me? He doesn't even look amused, just clinical per Article 12 of the Master Labor Agreement. Any mandatory activity ordered by the client that is not trade production or safety certification, and it was classified as a specialist consultation. My stomach drops. When you stop them from building to teach them corporate social theory, you didn't hire tradesmen for those hours. You hired consultants. I actually laugh. Like an idiot, consultants? Yes. Consultation is billed at double the burdened rate, $284 per hour. My mouth hangs open like my jaw unhinged. You can't just do that. He nods slowly like he's heard this exact line 1,000 times. We can. And we did. Big Eddie was very specific that you called this mandatory policy implementation. That makes them policy consultants. I look at Tyler. Tyler looks green like he's about to throw up in his own trash can. And it somehow gets worse. Tyler whispers without moving his lips. Look at the addendums. I flip the page. My hands are sweaty. Item 3, administrative overhaul, $4,200. Shark Suit explains it like he's reading a weather report. You instructed the electrical and plumbing, leads to alter terminology in logs and documentation. Man-hour to labor unit. Master/slave to primary/secondary. This requires updating our software templates and reprinting plan sets. We build the administrative time. I feel lightheaded like the room is tilting. I keep reading. Item 4, psychological recovery. Period 5, $1,100. What is this? I don't even realize. I raise my voice until it echoes. Shark Suit checks his notes like he's verifying a part number. The visualization exercise. The privilege walk segment. Foreman noted it involved intense emotional processing and trauma visualization. My brain short circuits. Trauma? He flips one more page. Under the Union Wellness Code. If a worker is subjected to psychological stress factors, they are entitled to a paid cool-down period. Your session ran long, and the crew took the last hour of the shift to decompress. Paid at the overtime rate. Everything clicks at once. Big Eddie, with his hand over his eyes, the trembling, shoulders me, thinking I was witnessing a breakthrough. He wasn't breaking. He was laughing. He was literally running out the clock and charging me for every second I snap. This is fraud. I point at the invoice like it's a weapon. Shark Suit closes his binder with a soft little thump, calm as a surgeon. No. This is a contract. You invoked the contract. You requested a stop work order. We complied within the agreement. You played by the rules. So did we. Tyler finally explodes, slams his palm on the desk papers jump. Miles. This invoice wipes out our entire Q2 bonus pool. It wipes out the launch event. It wipes out the new espresso bar we already announced. I try to speak, but my throat is tight. Ty, I was trying to improve the culture. You bought us a $35,000 lecture nobody asked for. He leans forward, eyes wide. Do you know what Big Eddie told me? I just stare. He said it was the most profitable afternoon they've had all year. He asked if you're planning a part 2. My face goes hot like I'm being cooked from the inside. The aftermath is immediate. I'm placed on indefinite administrative leave, effective immediately, which is corporate for, you're fired as soon as legal finishes the sentence. I walk back to my desk in a fog pack. My life into a recycled cardboard box diffuser, little desk plants, my stupid ceramic Luminarc mug, some notebooks full of culture initiatives. It all fits. Of course, it fits. I take the back exit because I can't handle the lobby. It's pouring now, full on, Pacific Northwest. Downpour rain hitting my blazer like pellets to get to my car. I have to walk past the site. The crew is packing up for the weekend, toolboxes closing, tailgates slamming, and there's Big Eddie leaning against a massive truck. GMC Sierra HD Denali thing. Looks like it could tow my entire student debt. It probably cost more than my degree. He sees me, sees the box in my arms, and he doesn't gloat, doesn't smirk, just gives me this slow, respectful nod, like we're two soldiers passing in the rain. Evening, mister. Miles, he calls out, steady voice, almost courteous. I stop in the mud rain, soaking through my sleeves. You knew? You knew exactly what you were doing. He opens the driver door like he has all day, looks at me with eyes that have lived on job sites for 30 years. Ma'am, catches himself. Sir, I've been IBEW damn near 3 decades. I know every line in that agreement. He points a calloused finger at me. Not angry, just matter of fact. You office folks think you can teach us about power. We already know power. Power is getting paid for your time. Power is the contract. My voice comes out smaller than I want. I was trying to help you. I was trying to make you better men. Big Eddie lets out a dry little chuckle. No warmth, just dust. We didn't ask for your help. We sell our backs and our hands to this company. We don't sell our minds. If you want to rent our minds for 3 hours, you pay the premium. I swallow, feel something sour crawl up my throat. So it's like a jerk tax. Big Eddie smiles, finally just a thin slice of amusement. Consultant fee. Sir, consultant fee. He climbs into the truck, turns the key, engine roars like an animal waking up. Right then, Moose walks by with a pipe wrench over his shoulder, tips his hard hat at me. Have a good weekend. Me and the wife are hitting a steakhouse tonight. On the trauma recovery budget. He winks. The guys laugh. Not cruel, just satisfied the laughter of people who got paid. I trudge to my sad little car. Beat up Corolla interior, smells like wet clothes and failure. I sit there watching the big trucks roll out one by one. Ford, Chevy, Ram, all 80 grand monsters with mud on the tires. My phone buzzes, notification from Chase. Student loan, payment due. $515. I check my account. $94.27. I just stare at it. Those dudes made like $800 each to sit still and nod at a PowerPoint. I start the car wipers, slap the glass like they're mocking me, and the truth lands heavy. I didn't dismantle anything. I didn't topple the patriarchy. I just funded it, and they mailed me the receipt. I drive off wondering if the coffee shop down the street is hiring, and if they've got a union too.